Hi, this is Dave. Thanks for joining me in my second episode in the Gardeneering series. Again, I'm a software engineer and I love gardening, and I try to apply some of the principles I learned as an engineer towards gardening in order to save time and money. Today, I'll be talking about how I organize my seeds, as well as how I plan out the seeds and keep track of what's being started. Once you start to accumulate quite a few seeds, you're going to want to keep them organized so you can find them when you need them. I use just a regular storage container to put the seeds in. Inside the large storage bin, I like to keep several smaller containers that I use to group the seeds based on when I usually plant them. So I have my early crops, my mid-season crops, and my late crops. But you can organize them however you see fit. Inside the smaller containers, I have a filing system so that I can quickly find the seeds that I'm looking for. As you can see, everything's clearly labeled so I can find the seeds that I'm looking to plant. When there's a lot of seeds, or if they're in small packages, I just put them in a regular Ziploc bag so that I don't lose them. When you have a lot of things like tomatoes and peppers, it helps to keep them organized in separate bags. I have my sweet peppers, tomatoes, and my hot peppers. Fruit, herbs, eggplant, and Swiss chard. One of the things that you'll notice is I keep the little packages of desiccant. These get any moisture that's in the air. Basically, they absorb the moisture that's in the air rather than allowing the seeds to absorb that moisture. Earlier I talked about how I liked tomato and pepper seeds because they're relatively large compared to smaller things like carrots or even onions for that matter. Beans are the other end of the spectrum. They're very large, so I have a container dedicated solely to beans. They take up quite amount of space. I also have about 30 varieties of beans as well, soy and pole and bush beans. Again, got more of those silica gels. So that's how I keep my seeds organized. When you're starting seeds, it helps to keep a journal. You can record information such as when you started the seeds, when they first sprouted, when you planted them in the garden, and when you had your first and last harvest. This information can be used when you're planting your future gardens. You can also record other information such as which varieties were better resistant to diseases and which ones had better flavor than others. When I'm starting my seeds, I typically create a legend that I use to identify the particular variety that I am planting. The abbreviation really doesn't matter as long as it's unique. I typically use 1 to 3 letters so that I can quickly identify the particular variety. Here I've done the same for the tomatoes. Again, I just picked a 1 to 3 letter abbreviation so that I could quickly identify the particular variety, and it reduces the amount of writing that I have to do in the notebook. It's okay that I reuse the L for lychee here as well as L for Lucia pepper previously, because tomatoes and peppers are very easy to distinguish after they're 3 weeks old. Using the legend that I previously created, I can indicate which variety is planted in each cell of the tray. This allows me to break up the tray to more than one variety of peppers in this case. Each pepper tray is going to start with a P, so P1, P2, P3, etc. This allows me to quickly identify which trays have peppers. Here I've done the same thing for the tomatoes. Here I've done the same thing with basil. It allows me to easily identify what variety of basil is planted in each planting tray without having to write the individual names on the planting container. So in this case, B2, the top row would be lemon basil, whereas the bottom row is cinnamon basil. Thanks for joining me today in Gardeneering. I hope you enjoyed this and found it informative and maybe pick up a few things that you'll try. In my next episode, I will get my hands dirty and show you how I start my seedlings. Be sure to subscribe to get the updates.